Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to talk about a few other things as well. So Lawyer Deaton accuses SEC's Gensler of infecting ethical standards. But you know, it's not just Gensler. It's the people that are controlling Gensler, the politicians and the big banks. You know, time and time again, we've seen the politicians threaten Gary Gensler through a letter. We just sent a letter to Gary Gensler telling him how pissed off we are. But then nothing happens. It's like, why don't you take action already? We most likely would have already had a clear path forward for crypto if the politicians actually did something about Gary Gensler. And here's Chris Larson talking about regulations. Take a listen.
Regulators have got to be there every step of the way. This fantasy that somehow this is going to bypass governments and bypass compliance, you know what? That's just BS. And you know what? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. That is a champagne problem with a bunch of rich young people that can sit there behind their computer screens and like block out a lot of bad things that can happen. So it just can't go that way. And so I think we're trying to think about that, try to be pragmatic about that, because that's the only way we're going to have impact. And if you look at people that are trying to support what's going on in the developing world, they are very much wanting to work. They're not trying to go around. They're trying to work within the system because they know that's how you're going to have impact.
So what he's saying is regulators have to be there with you every step of the way. And, you know, Ripple was fully transparent with the SEC early on. And look what happened. They ended up in a 3+ year lawsuit. And Chris Larson actually made another point in that same video. He said that it's a champagne problem. People sitting behind a computer screen thinking nothing bad can happen if they're not compliant. Here's the problem though. Once regulations do get here, all those people that thought nothing bad could happen inside crypto are going to realize 99% of crypto is going to disappear overnight. It's going to happen so quick, people are not even going to get their money out of meme coins as they go to zero. And that is definitely coming. You know, I like the wild west days of crypto. It was a great time, but it's coming to an end. Things are changing. Because the world is changing. We're pushing into the digital age. If you want crypto to be part of the new financial system, your crypto also has to be compliant. It has to have regulatory clarity. And that's what we got for XRP. Now this comes from Smoke. And he's been bringing up ESDR quite a bit lately. And I think he's on the right track because, you know, the IMF always looked at XRP and XLM as stable coins. And people always said, yeah, they're going to be pegged to $1. But that's not what the IMF meant. That's not what the BIS means when they talk about these cryptocurrencies as well. They look at them as ESDRs. And this could be the next big thing in crypto. Just like the necessary capabilities of an ESDR, XRP can transfer any form of value, fiat currencies, gold, securities, contracts, barrels of oil, hours of electricity, services, etc., with instant settlement and unlimited liquidity. ESDR's intrinsic value can be tied to a basket of commonly traded goods such as precious metals, oil, natural gas, etc. Now let me ask you something, because I look at the basket that they talk about as a massive liquidity pool. So if XRP, it gets its value from a basket of, say, 1 million barrels of oil, do you honestly think that XRP can be sitting at 50 cents when it's moving 1 million barrels of oil? Or maybe it's moving a pile of bricks of gold. It cannot be at 50 cents. This is how you will get to $1,000 plus XRP. Proof that a cryptocurrency-based stablecoin, ESDR, would allow everyone to hold an ESDR. ESDRs would enable everyone, not just banks, to transact with central bank money. Now imagine it like this, okay? You're holding XRP in the future, and CBDCs are up and running around the world, and you want to transact in XRP. Could you imagine what the value of one XRP would be worth? You would be buying stuff with a fraction of an XRP. And this can be where the IMF has been leading us all along. CBDC offline transaction via Bluetooth, facilitated by Stellar XLM. And this would also most likely work with XRP. We know XRP can be transacted offline using radio waves. So again, what did the BIS want? What did the IMF want? They wanted offline transactions. And that's what XLM and XRP brings to the table. And let's talk about CBDCs a little bit. So Nebraska ends income taxes on gold and silver, declares CBDCs are not lawful money. So Nebraska joins other countries like Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, South Dakota, and Indiana in having anti-CBDC language. Now here's the problem. A lot of people would say, well, if all the states didn't want a CBDC, then there would be no CBDC, right? Well, that's wrong, and here's why. Every single state in the United States still runs on federal money. They still need to get money from the federal government. If you really want to do away with a CBDC, it has to start at a federal level. The problem we have in the United States right now, and I think it's a problem on both sides of the aisle, I think there's a lot of politicians that want to push ahead with the CBDC. That's why Jerome Powell is meeting behind closed doors with a lot of politicians. I think they want to roll it out before the next election. And once it goes live, that's it. It automatically becomes embedded into the financial system. Once a CBDC goes live, you cannot turn back. You cannot get rid of it. And that's the major problem I see with CBDCs. What happens if they roll out a CBDC and it fails? There's still no going back. You got to ride the ship. That's it. You're stuck with it. You're past the point of no return. Unification of CBDCs. Global banks are telling us the end of the dollar system is near. So CBDCs automatically require the end of the dollar as world's reserve currency. So what do all these globalist projects with CBDCs have to do with the dollar and its venerated position as the world's reserve currency? The bottom line is this. A unified CBDC system completely excludes the need or use case for a world's reserve currency. Like I said, we don't need a world's reserve currency. We need a neutral bridge currency, XRP. The unified ledger model takes all CBDCs and homogenizes them into a puddle of liquidity. Each CBDC growing similar in characteristics over a short period of time. Now that sounds like one world currency. Take notice how they all have the same characteristics. So they're all going to merge into the same type of currency. And you still need a bridge currency in between. The advantages of using the dollar disappear in this scenario, and the value of currencies becomes relative to the middleman. In other words, the IMF, BIS, and other related institutions dictate the properties of CBDCs, and thus there is no distinguishing aspect of any CBDC that makes one more valuable than the others. So in other words, the US dollar is not going to be worth more than the Mexican peso, or the US digital dollar is not going to be worth more than the Mexico digital currency that they create, or the digital euro, or the digital pound. All the money will be valued at the same value, like one world currency. The direction this is taking, it's like you could see what's coming now and what they're pushing for. And if this is going to kill off the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, what is fiat money going to be worth once a digital dollar shows up? Because under a CBDC, they would get a restart, because the world's debt, all the debt in the entire world, will become tokenized at some point as well. The direction we're going on is strange because they're not giving us the full picture, I don't think. They're telling us what's going to happen, but they're not going into detail enough to make you understand it. But I think the problem in the US, and this is the other major problem, is that our government is also going in line with the rest of the world. What are your thoughts on that, though? Put it in the comments section down below, because I'm curious, because some of that was my opinion. If you read that in the right way, that's what it sounds like we're headed into, one world currency. Ukraine unveils AI-generated foreign ministry spokeswoman. And this is what she looks like right here. She is AI. Now, a lot of people would right away say, that's what they're spending my tax money on. But you got to understand something. What they're doing in Ukraine right now is they are using it as a testing ground for everything that they want to bring about in the United States. They're testing cashless society, CBDC. They're testing digital IDs. They're pushing ahead with AI there as well. And here's a question for all of you, because I'm curious on that. The first thing I thought when I seen this, because you got to remember, this is the foreign ministry spokeswoman. Are we going to have AI politicians in the future? And how many years do you think we are away from a president that is fully AI generated? If I had to put a guess on this, okay, I don't think it's going to be 2028 election, but I think most likely by 2032, we may already have this become reality. What are your thoughts, though? Put it in the comments section down below. Now, this is interesting. Both Xbox and PlayStation will be adding native crypto wallets. Being a gamer in the future will actually be a professional job. It's already a professional job for a lot of people, as they will be able to earn and sell their in-game content. There will also be games that are played to earn as well. Now, what I think is going to happen here is that most likely Xbox and PlayStation will create their own tokens that you could cash in for real money. And if you were to cash them in, guess what? You still need XRP in between to make that transaction. But this would also lead to mass adoption of crypto over time. There's a lot of paths to mass adoption. It's not just gaming, it's gaming, music, NFTs, art, tokenization of diamonds and gold. There's so many paths to mass adoption, and I think we are most likely past the halfway point already. I think we're only a year or two away, and that's when the flip of the switch would happen. But I wanted to make you think about a few things in today's video, because I was curious on these things at the same time, and I anticipate all your comments after this video goes live. But until it all happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.